Hey everyone, today's my, I think, 7th day of the 90-day challenge, and today is the day that I actually animate the first shot, and I guess it's been 2 or 3 years, so it's a pretty important shot. It's the opening shot. Excuse me. And I guess I've been animating for like 2.5 or 3 hours, and I actually just finished it, so my mind is like, oh, concentration. So, anyway, I'm gonna show you what I did. Uh, I actually made some changes. Um, this front area of the water wasn't lit well enough to show up on the camera, so I actually put an extra light in here, and I put a blue gel in there and just lit that. Uh, this gel here was hanging down before, and the light up here was casting a shadow against the pink screen in the back. So what I did was I just took a clothespin and shored that up a bit. Um, let's see, what else did I do here? I added these little splashes of water when the fish went into the when he went like this and jumped, and when he landed, what I did was um, in line with the camera, I put these little splashes with wire, and I'll remove those wires later, but I just kind of animated the splashes coming out. Uh, the ship here, well, both ships were on here at first. So I had our rusty cork ship. He was in front and they're chasing each other. So what I did at first was they were both slid back and like this. So they're equally spaced, right? And then I moved them forward 1/8 of an inch movements every time. The total number of frames is 96, so it's 4 seconds long. So I moved them forward, and then once the Defiant ship was sort of here, so actually here's the fish. Yeah, so when they're in about this position here, I guess. I animated the fish coming out of the water, coming in and splashing, and then let's see what else. Once the Defiance got to about the center, part of the plot in this story is that the rusty cork speeds off, and the Defiance starts to lose speed. So Captain Quill says to Ruble on the deck, "Hey Ruble, wake up, remove the mizzen rope at once. We're losing speed." So the whole thing where the speed of the ships is actually a major plot point in the film. And so Ruble will try to find that mizzen rope on the deck, and when he finds it, he unties it, and then the ship can speed off and catch up with the rusty cork. Okay, so it's kind of confusing, but here's what I got. I'll show you. Let's see. Well, first off, let me remove. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. This is a live image, so it's gonna look a little bit weird, but let me play it back at 24 frames a second. So you can see that the Defiance, once it gets to about here, slows down. And there's a flash in the center of the shot. Right about there, like flashes. That's because I stood in front of the camera before I took a frame on this, on the capture lunchbox. So it just kind of flashed. But it won't show up in the final film. What else? What else can I say about it? There's also this weird illusion where the ship seems to speed up in part of the shot because of the way that the waves are going back and forth. When the waves nearest the ship go in this direction, the ship seems to go faster. And then when the waves in the back go in this direction, the ship seems to slow down quickly. So, some kind of weird illusion, and there's no way I can think of to fix it. So like if you just watch the top of the ships, you'll see that it steadily gets slower but when you watch it with the waves, it seems to like come to a sudden, it slowly stops. It's kind of a weird thing, and I wish I knew of a fix, but I think that's just the way that stop motion is. You know, it's jerky, and you can't really stop that in most cases. But it also gives a lot of charm to shots, so you know, I'm gonna leave it that way. The fish coming out of the water, it's just a very quick thing. I didn't want the fish to come up and then, you know, twiddle around and then come back in the water, because I don't want it to distract from the overall shot, where the point is that the Defiance is chasing the Rusty Cork and there's a gap that slowly gets wider towards the end. Alright, so that took me a long time. And let's see, what else can I talk about today? I wrote to the people that will be doing the news on AnimateClay.com today. I made a website page, actually 2 pages of tutorials, so that they can go in there and they can see how to post news. So starting next week they'll start that, so that'll free up my time, and you'll see some new people posting news on the site, and I'm gonna evaluate them and see how good it goes. And I think it's gonna go pretty good. I mean, the people that applied have, you know, good credentials, and they know what they're talking about and understand animation. So what else? I'm thinking of actually hiring a lot more people for AnimateClay.com, but it's going to cost, I had this thing that I'm working out, and to start hiring people it's going to cost about $20,000, and that sounds crazy, and it sounds crazy to me too, but I really need to get $20,000 somehow, and maybe I can do that in this challenge, is to raise that money, so I can work on this project more. I can expand AnimateClay.com with more tutorials, HD tutorials, and video, and so forth. So anyway, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. But that's my update for today.